Hey, this is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a little vlog here. Basically, right now we've got ourselves a system that I've already kind of parted out. I bought a lot of seven. The model of the system is a Dell Precision T3500. I bought a lot of seven of these, and yeah, one of the systems was working perfectly yesterday, but today we turned it on and it just didn't turn on at all. So I've had experience with these systems, and yeah, it just means bad motherboard. And it's like, for those of you who don't know, I buy and resell these systems. So yeah, it really does suck when a system doesn't work like this. But the pros, like the good thing is that I'd rather have the problem fall on me versus I sell something and then someone has a problem and then it just gives you a bad reputation pretty much. But yeah, this system here, what I'm trying to zoom in on here is my CPU that I pulled out. It's a W3690, which I'm really pleased with. In a lot of seven systems I bought, three of them actually came with 6-core 12-thread CPUs along with 12 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, I was really happy, especially for the price I paid, because yeah, it's disappointing that the system doesn't work. But the cost of the CPU, the RAM, and the power supply alone that I'll be able to part out of this is going to be plenty. Yeah, obviously, of course, it sucks that the system isn't good to go, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like when you're reselling stuff, it's always better to, you'd rather have the problem fall on you than sell it to someone and then they've had a problem. Because, okay, I'm going to give a story here, but basically, last year I started reselling systems, and the T3500, I felt like I bought and sold a couple of them, about six, or yeah, my first lot was about six of them last year. And the reason I bought these systems is because they had this LGA 1366 socket part of the whole system. And it's like, yeah, like for those who know, like the X58 motherboards are freaking expensive. And yeah, basically I could get a whole system, power supply, motherboard, CPU, RAM, um, pretty much everything. Obviously not SSD drive and your graphics card, but for the same cost as just a motherboard. So that's why I like working with the workstations. My strategy is buy a pre-built workstation with this, with a nice uh, 80 plus gold. No, this is an 80 plus silver rated power supply from what I understand. This model doesn't show the silver rated, but I know from research there's silver rated power supplies. They're really good. I've had great experience with them when they are working, that is. What I mean by that is kind of like I could buy a system and have a dead power supply. It's dead, but like when I use the power supply, I've never had one fail on me ever, and I've worked with a lot of these machines. Uh, but yeah, the reason I didn't really work with these systems over the last maybe 6 or 8 months is because of this issue. I don't know what it is, but it's just the motherboards sometimes fail, and yeah, it's not good, and I don't know why. It was working yesterday, but it's better for me to have the problem than someone else who's buying it off me. But yeah, so without further ado, what I will be doing is pausing this video. Hopefully it won't cut out, and yeah, I'm going to be, actually I'll show you here. The first thing we'll be doing here is taking out the power supply. uh, yeah, first you need to get this cord out. There's a little clip underneath the bottom. I can't show you on the camera, but there's a clip on the bottom, clip on the top, and it's a nice all-in-one modular power supply pretty much. um, yeah, you need to get this clip out first. It's pretty difficult. Like here you can see there's a whole bunch of different pins. I haven't done research on what is for what, like what goes where and stuff. Um, Not that that's important, but more in the case of if you want to figure out how to get more than one 6-pin out of the power supply. But that's a tangent. And then on the back of the power supply, all you have to do is unscrew the 4 screws, and then we can get the power supply out. I'll probably end up doing that off camera. Otherwise, what I will be taking out as well is this DVD drive, because another system I have doesn't have one of these. And something that's also really important is these big Dell proprietary fans. Like, I'll take the whole shroud out. It's pretty easy. Like, it's easy for me anyways, because I've had a lot of troubleshooting experience with these systems. So yeah, pretty much I can take a lot out of this. The only thing that I'm losing is the motherboard and the case, but the case itself, I wouldn't bother recasing a system like this just because they're really complicated, and yeah, that's just that. And then I'll show you the system we will be putting it in. But yeah, everything that we're taking out of here is we're taking the CPU, 12 gigs of RAM, the 2 fans, the power supply, the DVD drive, as well as this nice beefy cooler. And yeah, I'll be right back with the system that we'll be parting it all into. As well, something I was going to mention is you can actually take this arm off here. What's it called? What is it called? The hard drive bay rack. It's kind of a weird thing to take off, but some systems will have, like if it's an older model of these, whether it's a Dell T5500 or a Dell T3500, is it'll be all one piece. Like you can see here, I took out a little bracket which would hold an additional drive there. I took that out. Yeah, I don't think I'll be particularly taking this arm off, but I was just going to mention it because if you are dealing with these systems, this arm can be a savior when you're dealing with longer graphics cards. Because I know there's an arm like this that comes out like, but yeah, there's an arm like this that basically you don't have the luxury of like taking this out so you can put in a long graphics card. But yeah, I got the power supply unscrewed and stuff, and it'll just slide out. I'll need two hands, and I don't have a camera mount at the moment. I'm just using my phone to record, but yeah, again, taking the power supply. DVD drive's not going to be as important right now. That'll be for a different system, which will be a Lenovo S30. Maybe I'll do a video on that once I upgrade it. And again, if you guys want to see these videos, let me know, because like frankly, they're not high quality, but I don't mind making them. And yeah, I'll get right back to you once I part this out and maybe I'll even replace this while we're on pause. I mean, replace this in another system, but anyways. Alright, we've got it parted out pretty much. I didn't have any plan on how I'd make this video, but yeah, we're just going with it. As well, I will be taking these little, yeah, there's a lot I can part out of here, because I'll be taking these, what are they called, PCIe brackets out. So while you can see, I took the front fan shroud out there, and as well as the DVD drive, which I will be putting with my other systems. Well, the S30 as I mentioned. But yeah, that's pretty much what a parted out system looks like here. I also there was an orange SATA cable, I took that out. It never hurts to have that, but yeah, overall, the Dell T3500 is a great design. Like, pretty decent airflow. Like, you've got a nice intake here. One thing I don't like is that the fans run at a low RPM until the CPU gets to 85 degrees. So, that's one thing. But otherwise, it's like the power supply is easy to switch out. Obviously, with another Dell standard power supply, like this workstation model. But yeah, that's the parted out system, and it's pretty much ready for recycling now. And I'll get right back to you with the other system, which is conveniently sitting underneath. Alright, here is the system that we will be replacing. And before we do anything, obviously, this is going to be awkward. I'm holding my phone and trying to move the system, but yeah, this is going to be our system that we're going to be replacing the power supply, putting the new CPU, well, not the new CPU, but we're going to put the W3690 in here. And yeah, this is an older model of the Dell Precision T3500 workstation. And I can tell that because this is an aluminum thin stack, and it's not great for cooling. So that's where it is. It's kind of nice that we'll be replacing it with this copper one with the nice big copper heat plate, and obviously we still have the fin stack, but with the copper heat pipes it makes a huge difference, especially when we strap the fan on, the 90mm fan. But yeah, this also has memory. Yeah, I think those are each 2 GB modules. So yeah, this system was the lowest spec one I was that I got in the whole lot. It had 4 gig of RAM, some sort of dual core processor. Came with a Quadro FX 1800, pretty much useless. Maybe I'll get $10 for it when I flip it. But yeah, as I was mentioning, these are nice 80 plus silver rated 500 watt power supplies. And one thing I'll mention quickly here, this is obviously a rambly video, but here you can see on one of these 12 volt rails, or a lot of them, they each say like 18 amps. So you can see here 12 volts A, C, 12 volt A and 12 volt C and 12 volt B. They're all 18 amp rails. So that means, theoretically, that through our 6-pin, CPU 6-pin, well, not CPU, I mean the PCIe 6-pin right here, we can transmit, well, we can probably pull maybe 150 watts out of it, even though it's just the 6-pin. Because I have used one of these 6-pins to dual 6-pin adapters and plugged in like an R9 380X, and I was still getting full power to the card. So yeah, let's get it in focus. So yeah, that's something to also, I might want to do another video on that. regarding power supplies, especially workstation power supplies, and how much power you can actually draw from a certain 6-pin. Obviously, you have to be mindful, like this is a nice 80 plus silver rated power supply and whatever, but yeah, this is what I mean. Like, if a system works, you see I just plugged it in and the fans just spun. So I know everything is good to go here. One thing that I do need to do before actually replacing the CPU is to double check that we are on the latest BIOS, because when you are upgrading, like this system here had Windows Vista come with it, like there's a Windows Vista code which automatically tells me, okay, this is one of the first revisions of the Dell T3500. So yeah, I'm gonna need to make sure the BIOS is updated. So I'm just gonna quickly plug the stuff in here, and maybe I'll come back once I've figured out what the BIOS is. But yeah, and you can hear that fan is just brutal. But anyways. Alright, this might be more complicated. I need to update the BIOS because we're only on revision 3. So I believe I need to get past revision 11 for the BIOS in order to technically support those 6-core, 12-thread Xeons. So yeah, I'll get back to that. And I'll actually update the BIOS in another video. But yeah, I'm going to end it pretty much here. This is pretty much 10 minutes. And what I'm end up doing is swapping the CPU cooler, get these nice copper fin stack ones. Yeah, what else? As well, I will be replacing the memory, and I will run this with a stress test, probably run IDA64, and I'll just listen to these bearings. I'm going to need to let the fans run probably for a couple hours. If there are any issues, they'll come up then. If not, then I hope they just never come up. But yeah, I'm mostly just going to be replacing the power supply here. And yeah, maybe I'll make a follow-up video. Let me know what you guys think if I do like this video and I bring you along like with what I'm actually doing with the systems. So it's like, okay, I'm replacing the front and stuff. But yeah, definitely drop a comment if you thought this was interesting. And yeah, I'll make another video tomorrow. Thanks.